tradition, we typically defer to a full-time elected official in Diane Slavens. If it would please the body, I would open up the floor and call for a motion to appoint Treasurer Slavens as the President Pro Tem for this meeting only. Is there a motion?
I call for a motion to appoint Diane Slavens temporary president pro tem for this meeting only.
Support.
All right, there's been a motion by Trustee Ganguly and support by Trustee Borninski to appoint Diane Slavens as temporary President Pro Tem for this meeting only. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it. Madam Treasurer, it is your meeting.
Oh, your mic. Oh, it is, okay. Oh, there.
I'm sorry. I thought it was on. Good evening, and can I have a roll call?
Borninski,
Good evening.
Foster,
Good evening.
Ganguly.
Good evening.
Let the record reflect that Graham Hudek is absent at the Michigan Townships Association in
Traverse City.
Traverse City. Segrist is present, Slavens,
And again, good evening.
and Snyderman.
I am back and I'm here.
May I have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And can I have an adoption of the agenda?
So moved.
Or,
Okay. All those in favor?
I,
Okay. And can I have approval of the minutes for 4/9/24?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let's move on to public comments on agenda items only. Are there public comments on agenda items only? Okay, public comments on agenda items only. Looks like we don't have any, so we'll move on to payment of the bills.
Madam Pro Tem, President Pro Tem, I move that we pay the bills.
Support.
Okay, motion by Snyderman, supported by Foster. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Now we'll move to resolution. We have a resolution of the Board of Trustees for the Charter Township of Canton opposing House Bill 4965. Trustee Borninski, would you be willing to read
Yes.
this resolution?
Thank you. Resolution of the Board of Trustees for the Charter Township of Canton opposing House Bill 4965. Whereas video/cable franchise fees charged to video/cable providers has resulted in approximately $100 million of general fund revenue for local governments across Michigan for the last several decades. Whereas franchise fees support right-of-way maintenance and local programming in the Canton community, and House Bill 4965 jeopardizes the future capacity for these operations to continue. Whereas HB 4965 threatens to terminate the revenue stream in its entirety, whereas HB 4965 is advanced by Netflix and other video streamers, including satellite video providers, in an effort to avoid the assessment of these franchise fees on their streaming video services. Whereas the Michigan Video Service Law, 2006 Public Act 480, carefully protects these local revenues by providing that all video service providers shall pay a fair rent for the use of public rights of way, regardless of the manner of providing their video service, including internet protocol. Whereas Netflix and satellite and other video streamers do utilize the right-of-way and at least in part, and transmit their video streaming product via internet protocol, and as such, those streamers are subject to franchise fees. Whereas the transition from traditional cable/video to streaming internet-based video is rapidly accelerating the last couple of years, and it is therefore crucial that local governments be able to assess franchise fees on streamers as the new form of cable/video service in order to maintain current levels of revenue. And whereas the loss of $100 million annually in general fund revenues will be catastrophic to essential service funding, including public safety, street maintenance, general government operations, elections, public engagement, parks, senior services, housing, and all other local government services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Canton opposes House Bill 4965 and directs that this resolution be transmitted to State Representatives Puri and Herzberg, Senator Polhanke, and Governor Whitmer.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Okay, the ayes have it. Now moving on to the consent calendar.
Madam President Pro Tem, I move that the board adopt the consent calendar as presented with 3 items. C1, consider waiving the purchasing policy and approving the emergency repair of one overhead garage door at the DPW facility. C2, consider approval of a purchase order to Weather Seal Home Improvements for removal and replacement of Sheldon School roof. And then finally, item C3, consider award of a contract and authorization of a purchase order to purchase softballs for the Canton Sports Center.
Support.
Motion by Segrist, supported by Snyderman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, and then moving on to the general calendar. G1,
All right.
consider appeal of FOIA 24-388.
Due to the nature of this RBA, I would propose that we read the background before providing a resolution.
Absolutely,
That
absolutely.
would please you? Okay.
Sure. So on April 8th, D. Cross entered a FOIA request asking for a list of residents that attended and signed into a meeting held at the Summit Park in 2018 concerning Fellows Creek. He also requested a list of addresses that were sent to the invitation letter on April 9th. The FOIA was denied as no records exists. The Wayne County Drain Commission held the meeting in question, and therefore the township does not have any records that were requested from D. Cross. On April 15th, 2024, D. Cross brought in a letter to appeal the denial for the FOIA request number 24-388. This appeal was considered received on April 16th and is brought to the board on April 23rd, 2024 to consider the appeal.
Is there a process? Is this a hearing or is this?
So we don't do FOIA appeals hearings. This is a FOIA appeal. I have not been involved in this FOIA. It was obviously processed by the deputy clerk, as all FOIAs are. The description is pretty self-explanatory. The FOIA came in for information about a potential drain meeting that occurred at the summit. The initial response of the township was based on MCL 280, drains have been under the jurisdiction of the county for, since modern history. So the notification of the hearing for the necessity for a drainage improvement district on both of the drains in question during this period were on county letterhead. The notices were distributed by the county. The summit was merely the location of the hearing itself. The applicant was notified that the document in question is not a township document and does not exist. However, they chose to appeal anyway, and all appeals, regardless of the nature of the appeal, have to be heard. So we do have to move on this, but there is no township document because the township did not hold a drain commission meeting.
Okay.
I do remember the letter going out, not from us, but from Wayne County Drain Commission. It being, like you said, held at the summit, but that was the call of the
Yep.
Wayne County.
Lots of meetings occur on our property by other organizations, but this was not one of our meetings, so.
Right.
It seems like the FOIA should be directed towards the county.
It looked like he had tried with the county, and they said they didn't have records either.
It's unsure whether or not he submitted a FOIA to the county. But yes, every time we redirected the individual to the Department of Public Works at the county, which is the organization authorized under Michigan law to maintain the drains, the individual indicated that he had heard from the county that it was our meeting. So it's not uncommon for the hot potato to happen sometimes. But specifically with drains, I mean, there's no provision of Michigan law that affords a township jurisdiction over a county drain. And so, it would not have been in compliance with the Open Meetings Act or the Drain Code for us to issue notice of that meeting or to keep a record of individuals in attendance. And we, did the best we could. We provided the notice of the public hearing on Wayne County letterhead that was given to us by Almika Steele, the drain commissioner. And the individual chose to tell us that they didn't care, that we should have this document, and that they were going to go forward with the appeal. So it's kind of where we're at. Our hands are tied. There's no document to give. It's the equivalent of like Burger King having a menu from McDonald's. It just doesn't exist.
And if the document doesn't exist, then under FOIA, we are not required to create a document either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not that we have the information anyway, but.
Yeah, I don't know how you would go back to 2018 and create a document. Yeah, based on, just the laws of physics, you can't create something that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Therefore, I will move to deny the appeal in full.
Support.
Okay, motion by Snyderman, supported by Borninski. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Two, consider bid award and purchase order approval for the professional design and landscape construction of the Summit on the Park West parking lot.
Madam President Pro Tem, I move to award the bid and approve a purchase order to Reliable Landscaping Incorporated for the professional design and landscape construction of the Summit on the Park West parking lot islands for a total of $38,018.
Support.
Motion by Seacrest, supported by Snyderman. As a result of the August 2023 tornado, the Summit on the Park West parking lot islands lost most of the evergreen trees. The islands currently remain bare. In March 2024, an RFP was solicited for replacement, design, and landscape construction. 3 companies submitted proposals, and each were scored by a panel comprised of CLS, MSD, and finance staff. Reliable Landscaping received the highest score based on the criteria in the RFP. The panel recommends awarding the design and landscape construction to Reliable Landscaping for a total amount of $38,018. A budget amendment is necessary. Director Holdenberger, do you have anything to say?
Only 2 quick things that we're very excited to see the islands get some plants back in them because they look a bit bare right now. So that will be very nice for the township and the summit. But I also noticed the budget amendment portion. There's somehow got omitted from the motions at the end. So we probably need a second motion to approve the budget amendment in the budget implications and account number section to make sure that we get everything covered.
Okay. We had been approved for money from FEMA from some of the disaster. Is any of this $38,000 going to be covered by that money or no?
Potentially, it sounds like it's going to be a very long time before we see any of those funds. So if and when we receive those funds, they can be kind of applied towards covering the costs of these. Insurance, our township insurance is covering all the building damages, but they do not cover the trees. So we're hoping to apply some of those FEMA dollars, but it could be quite some time before we get those dollars into the township.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? The ayes have it.
Do we need
Michael
to
make a
make
second
the second
motion?
motion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Sorry. Madam President Pro Tem, I move to approve the requisite budget adjustment to allow for the purchase order that was just approved by the Township Board as listed in the budget implications section of this RBA.
Support?
Motion by Segrist, supported by Snyderman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to G3, request to purchase computer workstation and tablet replacements.
Madam President Pro Tempore, I move to waive the purchasing policy request for proposal requirement for this purchase as pricing has already been negotiated by the state of Michigan. I further move to approve the creation of new purchase orders to Dell computers in an amount not to exceed $90,000 to cover the cost of purchasing the 2024 scheduled computer and tablet replacements.
Support.
Motion made by Segrist, supported by Borninski. ITI manages the computer workstation replacement schedule township-wide and has adopted the practice of replacing approximately 25% of the township's PC workstation fleet on a 4-year cycle. This request is for approval to replace those computers whose warranty expired or will expire in 2024. Victor, do you have anything to add?
Nothing much, really. This is a scheduled refresh of computers in the township, annual refresh of computers in the township, but I'll take questions.
Great. Are there any questions? Kate?
Not a question. I just wanted to say that I commend you for taking advantage of the state of Michigan purchasing contract.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. It passes. All right. We are moving right along. Moving to public comment. Do we have any public comments? Any public comments? Any public comments? Okay. Well, do any of the directors have any comments? Anything coming up in the near future?
The Light Up the Night event was rescheduled for May 1st, so that is next Wednesday evening. Hopefully, the weather will be a little more cooperative, but some additional work that wasn't completed yet, paving of some of the pathways that needed to get redone. They were actually out there today paving, so that should be completed by the time we are out there a week from tomorrow, so very exciting.
Has play started, and have you got any feedback on the new lights? Or-
Play has started. I would have to ask about that, but from staff, we've received lots of positive feedback from that. It is significantly brighter on the fields and significantly darker in the surrounding areas, because there's not as much light pollution bleeding out of there. It's really being contained within the field, so it's really fantastic to see. No more excuses for missing the pop flies.
Other comments?
Speaking of reschedules, many of you were planning to come this Saturday to Art and Bloom. Art and Bloom is still on out at the Village Arts Warehouse, so we'll have close to 30 vendors, I believe, set up. So we encourage people. It's going to be beautiful on Saturday. No rain. We're going to knock on that one. But come on out and enjoy the vendors and the artists that are going to be out there from 10 to 5, I believe. Some of you were coming for a little bit of a groundbreaking. We're going to reschedule due to some illnesses, but we'll do that again. We'll come up with a date. We'll pick a nice, bright, sunny, warm day to come out and do that and celebrate the launch of our Cherry Hill Village projects. So look forward to that. Probably in May or early June, we'll do that. But we'll pick a great day for it and make sure that we get a good opportunity. But so this weekend is the Art and Bloom event, and then also at the summit is our Spring Fling, which is a chance for us to celebrate mothers with their special little ones. So we expect a very large crowd for that dance on Saturday night at the summit.
Great, great. And any other comments? No? Board members, anybody have, Kate, any?
So I wanted to wish our Jewish members of the community happy Passover.
Yep. It's always a fun holiday.
Do you have any?
No, nothing.
Okay. All right. Tanya?
Yeah, wanted to wish, same as Kate, a happy Passover to the Jewish members of the community. And I think we have the planting of trees on the 4th, so just another reminder, people to come.
Yeah, sorry, I never know how far out to go with these updates, but the following Saturday on May 4th, it's busy. Last Saturday was very busy with lots of activities, so hopefully people made the rounds. May 4th is our annual fishing derby, which is a great Canton tradition. The ponds will be stocked out here in Heritage Park. But that same day, as Trustee Ganguly mentioned, we will have lots of trees being planted in Heritage Park. We have over 100 trees scheduled to be planted. And on the 4th, we'll do a little ceremony, and we'll make sure we put a couple nice sized trees in the ground near our memorial out here in Heritage Park. So we look forward to seeing you all out there on Saturday for those of you who are able to attend. But yeah, lots of activity, lots of trees being planted, not just in Heritage Park, but throughout Canton over the next few weeks. So it's exciting to see that.
Great. Summer?
Well, speaking of trees, happy belated Earth Day, which was a couple days ago. And yes, happy Passover to folks in our community who celebrate.
Last Tuesday, we had a special election and it went swimmingly. I'm super grateful to the 11 election inspectors who helped us run the election for 5,000 Canton residents that were in the 25th House District. They elected Representative Herzberg, who got his first public shout-out in Canton as a part of our resolution tonight, as the new state representative for the southern portion of the southeast portion of Canton. But it went well. I'm super grateful to have our third election done for the year. And this Saturday, there are two really cool events. One is Canton Cleanup, which is happening at the GFL Yard on Van Born Road. Any Canton resident can drop off construction debris, paint, things like that. You get one trip per household, so keep that in mind. You don't get to double dip. And then the same day, and so that's Saturday from, I don't know when it starts. What's that?
Compost?
A separate issue. That was my second event. The first event doesn't have times. Oh, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's Canton cleanup. And then the other event is the free compost, which is going to be located at DPW also on Saturday. So you can do this, you can go down there from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's a cap at 1 p.m. And you get free compost because we've been doing this compost program. And it's a great opportunity to pick up some stuff for your garden. It does not indicate that you are only allowed one trip per household. So just keep that in mind. You might be able to double dip on that one. But that's some fun stuff this Saturday. I think that's all I got.
Okay, very good. And that is good for your garden, so hopefully people can take advantage of that. Happy Passover and happy Earth Day to everybody. And with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have a good evening.
Nice job.